Uh, I wasn't sure if I was gonna make this video. I definitely couldn't do it yesterday because I was just entirely too emotional and I couldn't trust myself to uh to speak my heart like accurately or um you know it was very difficult yesterday. But I did want to have this moment with you guys because I know as basketball fans we all feel this very deeply. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. I have you guys up on the screen, so I'll be able to just read your stuff directly. Um, so for those, all right, so what I want to put into context is why this felt so just incredibly painful. Because a lot of celebrities have died. Are you guys gonna learn a little bit about me during this? For those of you who don't know, I know I have a lot of new subscribers who aren't familiar with me. Um, so I'm a guitar player as well as a professional comic book artist. And one of the guys that died in my lifetime was a guy named Dimebag Daryl Abbott. He's a lead guitar player for Pantera, who was the band that got me into guitar. Actually, my first concert was a Pantera concert when I was about 16 years old. And Dimebag threw all his picks out into the crowd, and I caught one. I played with that pick for like 2 years straight when I got into guitar. And even that felt no, when Dimebag got shot on stage, it felt nothing like what I felt yesterday. Like literally a family member just was take a close family member was taken away from me, and it was just incredible. I thought, well, maybe it's because me and Colby are the same age, right? Like me and Colby are almost exactly the same age, so it's not just a number because Kobe's life was so public that as he made all of his mistakes, while the media has their perspective on it, um, I could understand his mentality. And if he was making a mistake, I could see the flaw in his mentality. And I could see that in me, you know, some of the same attitudes. And when he overcame certain things, sometimes it was a lesson either by what he did right or what he did wrong. But that wasn't it either. And what I realized, the two things that get me about the whole thing is number one, and above all else, especially in this day and age, Kobe had to be a human being in front of everybody. Like in today's era, we're so about this culture of hiding our flaws, hiding our mistakes, the filter for your pictures, taking the perfect angle, writing the perfect tweet, making your vacation look like it's the best thing in the world. So many people have the choice to only put their best selves on camera or video and show their best face, meanwhile live a totally different life in private. Kobe didn't have that liberty, like most celebrities don't. But as a basketball player, he lived his life, the ugly parts and the beautiful parts, from his teenage years on camera the entire time. He's one of the interesting thing about people my age is we grew up without the internet as like small children, but by the time Kobe was in the NBA, the internet was already a thing and becoming more of a thing literally day by day. And he didn't have that, you know, ability to hide his stuff like Mike, and he also didn't have the ability to embrace it like say a Trey Young or one of these guys with the Instagram. So he just lived while we watched. And this was 20 years, really more than 20 years. It's actually more like 24 years because he was covered so early on. So, I mean, when you think about, there's not a player that you know that doesn't have like a deep relationship um, to Kobe in some kind of way, either as a rival or a mentor or a student or a teammate. This guy, and you know, we can get to the basketball stuff later. But just to leave on that basketball note, if you at all knew about basketball for the past 20 years, Kobe Bryant basically defined it in some way. Even now, half the news stories was about who's at Mamba Academy, him training with his daughter. But that wasn't the only thing. And this is more of a personal thing. And I'm going to get into a few topics here and there. And thank you guys so much for stepping in and having this moment with me. I'm glad we can kind of, just kind of sit around the digital table and talk this out. I think we kind of need to, whether he was a villain for you or a hero, um, a great void has opened up in humanity because of how much he lived. And that's kind of the thing that I get to. So, like I said, my professional career, I'm a comic book artist. I work for Marvel and DC and various other publishers. And that is a very, very unlikely career for anyone, right? Even less so for black kids from, the inner city in like the 80s and 90s and stuff like that. So there's not a lot of examples that you have to follow when you come across certain situations. So having a guy like Kobe out there exactly your age to like learn from was another thing, that was just like really, really helpful. And it's not just me. There's other people in the industry around my age that have said and seen the same thing. And Kobe was really different from Kobe was really different from a lot of folks because of the way he expressed himself. Like coming before, for young guys who don't know, everybody didn't speak like Kobe Bryant. Um, before Kobe Bryant, like that, that educated tone and stuff like that. That was kind of a fairly new thing, and for him to be really outspoken and have that, it was an example to a lot of people, because when I grew up, if you spoke the way Kobe spoke, it was just corny, full stop. That was it. It was corny. But people couldn't love Kobe Bryant and hate on you for sounding like Kobe Bryant. You guys can hear me. Obviously, I don't sound like the average kid, but I played a ton of basketball, you know, and uh, and he was part of the growth and change of our community in a lot of ways, and a leader in that as a young man, the same way other leaders were. I was talking to Mazique about this. Mazique said he was the other side of Allen Iverson, right? Like Allen Iverson allowed you to embrace your roots and not apologize for where you came from, but Kobe allowed it so that where you came from wasn't defined as this one thing. Kobe did rap. He did play basketball. He did grow up partially at least just outside of Philly and wanted the approval of those kids in Philly, but he didn't change who he was, and he kind of taught us that we didn't have to change who we were either. But at the same time, we also got to learn that you still got to grow up. And one thing that I learned being a very competitive person in a field that's actually not openly competitive like basketball, I got to see him learn the same thing, and that's that you can't do these things by yourself. If you want to do something truly remarkable, you not only have to embrace other people, but you have to pick them up. And I know people don't look at Kobe in that way because of his reputation. But if you watched his two championship LA teams, he'll tell you itself, his teammates will tell you, he totally embraced his teammates and realized that he needed them and to he needed to pick them up and make them stronger and be a part of them being stronger and let them know that he needed them to be stronger. Um, and that's part of growth, because the thing about acquiring that much skill, and I'm not going to pretend to be as skilled as Kobe Bryant, but again, when it comes to the drawing, I am in a very, very small group. And to get into a small skill group like that, you have to spend so many hours alone figuring things out, and there's no guarantee you're going to figure it out. People always assume, oh, you drew when you were a little kid, you're gonna be a comic book artist. Oh, you good at basketball, your dad's a basketball player, you're gonna be a great basketball player. It's not true. You're not guaranteed success. You have to put in the work, and even more importantly than putting in the work, you have to humble yourself to the work, right? Stephen A said this really interesting thing. He said he thought Kobe Bryant would hate people who didn't have a work ethic. And Kobe said, I don't hate people who don't have a work ethic. I hate people who don't have a work ethic and expect to be great. And I can tell you guys the exact reason for that. When you're trying to get really, really good at something, not good for your friends, but really good, in that people are going to pay you to do it and the whole world is going to watch you do it and they're going to compare you to the best people ever doing it, right? When you take on that task to become good at something, you have to humble yourself to all of the people who put in the work before you. When you're a little kid, you think, I want to be good, this person's good, and then most people say, I'm never going to be as good as that person, I suck, I'm out. But that's not true. What's true is the people that you admire have worked so hard, and you have to be humble and understand that you don't deserve greatness without giving that same sacrifice. And because everyone doesn't do that, sometimes it's hard. It's genuinely hard to be a normal, well rounded person and be really, really good at something. And I got to see Kobe not just sacrifice to become great, but I also got to see the sacrifice of popularity. You know, he had to fail in front of everyone else. When he was a bad teammate or a bad husband or whatever, he had to do that in a way that everyone could see and then have the courage to recover. He tore his Achilles, shot the free throws, went back to the locker room, tears in his eyes, gave his interview, and then later on in his documentary, let us all inside of that. And that, I think, is why this hurts so much. Because about the middle of his career, Kobe let us in. And you could actually see after he let us in, he made it a personal mission to teach everybody he came in contact with. If you listen to every interview from all the people that knew him, it's all about teaching. Him teaching Stephen A about this thing, him teaching Matt Barnes about that thing, him teaching, you know, even Michael Wilbon, who's a much older man than Kobe, about his health and stuff like that. He wanted to share and he wanted to teach. And that's the thing that I really take from this. You guys see this channel, you know, this is, I'm not doing YouTube to become popular and have 100,000 subscribers or whatever. That'd be great for it to pay for itself. But I really just do it because I thought I had a perspective where I could teach something. And I'm definitely going to be doing that in the art realm. And that's the overwhelming thing I feel about this with Kobe is just he lived. He threw so much energy out there that we all feel it. I feel it. And as much as I want to be Mamba mentality and go right back to work, first I have to mourn and just feel the selfish sorrow that he's gone, but then the joy that he has left, at least I can speak for myself, me with the tools to approach my life with more of a Mamba mentality. I've used Kobe as inspiration for a very long time. In one of my first comic book gigs, which is one of the scariest because you don't know if you're going to be there, right? They say that saying in the NBA, you know, don't just come in and have a cup of coffee. That happens in comics too. There's a lot of people out there who drew their first 6 pages, their first 10 pages, and you never see them again. They got to draw a comic once. And when you're young, you're in your early 20s, and you're You're in that situation, your early mid 20s, you are excited that you're in, but terrified that you're not going to stay in. You know what I'm saying? So he scored that 81 points, and I remember I actually wrote in my sketchbook at the time, Kobe Bryant scored 81 points last night. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And and I, that was his inspiration to me. And this is before, after his career, when he comes into my world. He wrote a poem and got one of my art heroes, Glenn Keane, to animate it. Glenn Keane is the animator from Tarzan. So at the what I used to train my skills up was Tarzan. You know what I'm saying? So watching the fact that his creativity and intelligence wasn't limited to basketball, that his passion then became my passion. It became storytelling. That's what I study. That's my favorite thing to study. And that became his favorite thing to study after his first career was over. So it's just, I have immense gratitude, some small amount of, I won't say a small amount. I have a good amount of emotional, personal, selfish sorrow, but I can already feel the same, like the same way Kobe said when he tore his Achilles. He said, no, I went back, I cried like a baby. I let it all out, felt sorry for myself, and then I sat up and go, well, now it's time to get to work. And that's how I feel about Kobe's passing. I'm gonna take yesterday and today, some of today to feel sorry for myself, but after this, we're gonna get back to work. Mamba mentality. Time to live. All caps. Don't waste time. Kobe said he has no regrets because he didn't waste time. And let's definitely. We don't know when our time is coming, but don't go out with regrets. And I'm glad that he was a shining example of that. And I want to definitely be even more of that for myself. And I hope you guys do the same. So, if y'all have anything y'all want to say in the chat, I'll be reading it. I will end off with, video content. We'll resume as normal. But you see, there's no gameplay in the background. This isn't an entertainment video. This isn't like for likes or subscribers or whatever. It's just a conversation amongst hoop heads. You guys have all been very supportive of me in this channel. And there is one thing I want to say about this, because I've seen some of the sentiment from some people online. It's okay to be sad about this. Like, Kobe was a leader of men. And when you lose one of your leaders as somebody who put a lot out there and they're gone, part of celebrating what they gave you is allowing that emotion of loss to affect you. It's okay. There's nothing unmanly about being emotional. In fact, it takes a lot of courage to admit how you feel. I went through life for a long time thinking that emotions were a weakness. Emotions are a strength. Letting emotions control you is a weakness. So I'm not going to let my sorrow or my pain or my grief control my actions. I'm going to experience my own humanity, accept that, be grateful for that. These emotions will help you in other ways. They're evidence that you cared about something. One of the worst things in the world to be is apathetic, to not care, to not really be alive. So when we're in pain right now, it's because he lived and it affects our lives, our living. You're in pain because you're alive, and that's a beautiful thing. So I'm grateful for this grief and this sorrow and this opportunity to be a human and then turn this back into being a better human. Um, so that's pretty much that, guys. Programming will resume later on today. I'm gonna have a Landry Shamet, John Collins. I'll probably, out of spite for Spatial Jones, my good buddy, do Luke Ridenour and Harrison Barnes, and we'll definitely have a Kawhi Leonard. I got that card as well. Uh, so all of that stuff will be coming. We're gonna keep it moving, but Mamba mentality going forward, guys. I really hope that you, uh, yeah, Landry Fields. I'm gonna call Landry Fields Landry Shamet 1,000 times. So I'm gonna let you guys know ahead of time. Uh, you know, that's gonna happen. All right, that's gonna happen. Y'all just go ahead and get comfortable because there ain't supposed to be nobody in the world named Landry, let alone two. All right, there's two Landrys in the NBA. I don't know what their parents was thinking, and now I gotta deal with Fields and Shamet. So that is what it is, man. So thanks so much for everybody coming into the chat. I'm glad to have you guys here. I'm glad we can all talk about this. Um, we lost a man who did a lot of great things and put a lot of great energy out there. And the void is open now. You know, all that he was gonna do, somebody else has to do it. You know, you can't just let this great teacher and this highly skilled, intelligent man leave, and we all just, you know, drink beer and eat Cheetos and be like, well, too bad, so sad. You got to fill that void. We all have that extra bit of responsibility. Kobe's divided amongst all of us now, and we got to do more. So you know, I look forward to taking on that task. I'm glad that he gave us so much while he was here. Um, I do think of all the time that we just let go because we think tomorrow, and then tomorrow doesn't come anymore. So definitely gonna live, you know, more in that mentality. Yeah, well, the beautiful thing, Randolph Truitt, is his legacy is gonna live on through all of us. You know, Kobe said he put a lot of stuff out there to help you in whatever your life journey is. I can tell you that as a person who has to go through some pretty unusual things in the business that I'm in, and friend to a lot of people who go through these things. I'm not just talking about myself. I'm talking about, you know, screenwriters and directors and producers at a high level, musicians at a really high level that go through um, some of the things that I know his words help. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not like a great big famous person or anything, but again, I'm deep enough into the entertainment industry that I know some stuff and I've seen some stuff, and he 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 left us with stuff that we can all carry his legacy. You know what I'm saying? Mamba mentality is a beautiful thing to leave for the rest of us to work with. Seriously. You know, him explaining his mistakes and his pain and his success and his joy and the things that he learned, that's for all of us, you know? So obviously his daughters are going to carry on with it, and, you know, and his family and so on and so forth. And obviously, you know, we're here to talk about Kobe, but everybody that we lost yesterday, it's obviously a tragedy. But I wanted to focus on just how personal this was for me, and perhaps for you guys, and maybe some of the, you know, personal ways that I feel this pain. Uh, it's affected y'all as well. I've never in my life seen sportscasters and coaches and news people unable to get through a broadcast like yesterday. You know, yeah, watching Colby teach his daughter is incredible. Actually, guys, let me plug in my headset here. I have it on wireless, but there's no sound going into it, so it likes to be dumb and turn off. Give me 1 second. But yeah, watching Kobe teach his daughter is just incredible, man. Like their face, like she started to like look like him as she get older too. It's just like crazy, really really crazy. Like her eye shape and her mouth shape's like exactly the same. Nuts, 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 nuts. This is a real track. You know, she was gonna change women's basketball. He was changing women's basketball. You know, he was the most supportive, and he was changing it in the right way by changing the product. And when 12-year-old girls start doing fadeaway jumpers, the sport's future starts to look real, real bright. I know there's some other really talented young girls out there. Hopefully, they'll be able to pick up the slack, uh, and provide a beautiful future for the on-court product for women's basketball. Because you could throw all the money in the world or something, but if the athletes aren't able to embody the spirit of basketball the way the fans want to see it, you're just going to be throwing money in the fire. And watching him train her and the excitement and the dedication with him and those girls was incredible. And the way he believed in them, was incredible. So, he was a class act in that regard and a real leader. All right, give me 1 second. Can you guys still hear me? I just plugged my headset in. She's 12. Oh, they were reporting her as 13 in the news. Oh, your daughter's 12. Your daughter's 12? Or you talking about Gigi? But yeah, man, A1, way to do it, man. Way to do it. Because the one thing I don't like to see is when someone has a passion for something, and because that kind of person hasn't, in your eyes, lived up to that, you tell them you can't do it, you're a joke, you should stop trying. And we got to be real. Like on the women's basketball thing, there's one side of it where people want people to show up for something that they know is not up to par, and on the other side of it, people want to be really disrespectful and downgrade female basketball players because they're women. And it takes true leaders like what Colby was doing to provide the training and the attention and the love and the grace to allow women who are passionate about basketball become great. And as we discussed earlier, becoming great is about humility to the task. Nobody gets pardoned from 1,000 jumpers. That's the tax. You know what I'm saying? Like, I teach art, and I'll be teaching it on my main YouTube channel throughout the year. I'm going to go back to doing tutorials. Nobody gets out of having to draw, 1,000 circles. It's just it. You just have to draw 1,000 circles until circles aren't hard anymore. Until you're not scared of your line anymore. That's the payment. You know what I mean? You pay that, you get to move forward. You don't pay it, you can talk about how you didn't have enough talent. But I know the truth. I know you weren't ready to pay that tax. And as long as someone's ready to pay the tax, they should be allowed to pay. It's not for you to tell them what they're gonna get from their payment. You know what I mean? If somebody out there shooting 1,000 jump shots or drawing 1,000, torsos and so on and so forth, it's not for you to come along and judge their talent. Most people who do that either have no talent of their own or they take their talent for granted. But the work is what tells the truth to all of us. And Colby knew that. He tried to tell that to everybody. He tried to tell that to everybody. If you search my name, you should find my main YouTube channel. I think it's under Fred McHale, the actual channel address. But if you search my name, you should be able to find my main YouTube, Nelson Blake II. I haven't uploaded a video up there in a very long time. It's hilarious. Like, I'm a professional artist, and I don't think I put a video up on art in 3 years, and I've probably at this point done 100, 200 basketball videos, which is ridiculous. But yeah, man. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for rocking with me. Like I said, regularly scheduled programming coming up later. I didn't want to stop doing stuff, but at the same time, I think we all just need to take a moment and and acknowledge what he left us with, the fact that he left us, the fact that a lot of us are hurting, and just have that moment to be humans. Acknowledge that a human was here, and several humans are gone, and he gave us a lot before he left. We could be real selfish in this world. Just show up, do the bare minimum, never talk to nobody. That's an option. And he didn't take that option. It's so long ago, Colby could have just packed it up and went home and just spent his money in peace. He did not do that. So whatever your version of that is, do with that example what you will. But I know what I'm going to do. And it's been made obvious to me for a while that I need to invest myself more in teaching. Funny enough, this channel was like a way to get started with it, with the my team cards and stuff like that. But I definitely need to do that more with the art as well. So if any of you guys are artists, follow that channel, follow me on Twitter. I'll be happy to help you out with whatever you're doing, whether it's just color or graphic design or drawing, even animation. I'll point you towards the sources or whatever, and hopefully the stuff that I post will help you. I will be focusing mostly on drawing and storytelling. Yeah, Sean Davis, R.I.P. man. Rest in peace, rest in power. Thanks, Giovanni. Yeah, I say it all the time, but I can't thank you guys enough. The support on the channel has been incredible. This has been nothing but support, and just the best parts of the community have come out to this channel. I know our 2K community has its good sides and its bad sides. I've known a lot of people in this community for a long time, and the best of our community has been following and interacting with this channel, man. So yeah, I appreciate it, Arizo. Yeah, so I've been really grateful for the experience, guys. You guys are giving me a lot of energy. It could be really hard to do this and immediately go draw like comic book pages or whatever, but you guys make it easy because the energy y'all give me is just so positive, and the feedback and the interaction and stuff like that. And I don't expect everything to always be positive, but I'm just glad that even when people have criticisms, it's coming from a sincere place. Like, people aren't just like trolling whatever. And I know that once if the channel grows, trolls is part of the territory, but I'm just grateful that as I've started out, it's been really awesome. Was Colby my favorite player? He was my favorite basketball person, right? So my favorite player overall is still Michael Jordan, because he's the greatest person I've ever seen do anything, like, besides like Bruce Lee. You know what I'm saying? So Michael was my favorite just about basketball. But the thing is, it's not just about basketball. And the thing I look at with Kobe Bryant, it's almost like Nightwing to Batman, right? Like, Batman was born basically with the tools to be Batman. But Nightwing's born with more physical talent than Batman, but he don't have that craziness in his brain. With Kobe, it's almost the reverse. Kobe doesn't have the physical talent of Michael Jordan. He's not one of the greatest athletes in NBA history. He's a good athlete. He's in the top, shelf, but he's not Zion, Vince Carter, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain. He's not in that group. So Kobe had to make up for it by just working hard and using his intelligence and figuring things out. And his goal was to be at Michael's level or past Michael's level. But he didn't have the large hands and the 48-inch vertical leap and stuff like that. He had just enough that he could come close if he practically killed himself. And for that reason, Kobe was my favorite NBA figure. You know what I mean? Like, he was my favorite person and player combo, because these are human beings. If you just talk about like basketball skills, Michael came first, so Kobe was very, very similar. He was more fluid than Michael. He was more agile than Michael, but on the court, there's so many similarities there that Michael coming first. If it was just about basketball or X's and O's, I would pick Michael. But I actually love that Kobe wasn't like LeBron and Michael, where they were born genetically with so much that you're just like, how can you lose? Even amongst the best players in the world, you're literally born with an advantage over even them. Like, you look at Michael running and jumping next to Clyde Drexler, who was one of the leapers of that time, and it's like, dude, get out of here. You're not even in the same category. Isaiah Thomas, one of the fastest players to ever pick up a basketball, says it all the time. Michael jump in the air, and he just will sit up there and wait for you to start going to the ground, then he'll shoot. And that's what it really felt like watching Michael Jordan. Kobe was like, what if a normal person tries to be a god? You know what I'm saying? And so I like Kobe more than Michael because I identify with Kobe more than Michael. Um, I hope that answers your question because it's not a simple answer. Like growing up, my favorite player, like I still felt the way I felt about Kobe and then watching his every move because again we were the same age. But the player I emulated the most when I was younger was Iverson. And to this day, there's a part of Iverson that just speaks directly to my heart. And if I wanted to watch one person on highlights ever, it's Allen Iverson above everybody, right? Like an Allen Iverson highlight is the greatest thing in the world as far as I'm concerned. Um, but in terms of total combo, yeah, Kobe's my favorite guy. Um, and I'm starting to like LeBron a lot more. Again, I'm liking his game more because it's more skill based now that he's not as athletic. But it's really like the person that he is around it, the maturity at such a young age, you know, the ability to go into other fields and stuff like that, the ability to go to any team and make them great. Like, you know, as a person, I'm really, really appreciating LeBron. And I guess that's part of me getting older too, is you know, when I'm young, when you're young, all you do is consume. You just watch all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? You just receive it. It's just entertainment for you. But as you get older and you have to actually do things yourself, but you're still a human being. You're never just going to be entertainment for yourself, right? Like what's up, Los? You have to actually still be a brother and a son, and if you're a parent, a father or whatever, and you know, a coworker or a boss. You still have to be a human being, and you still have to do whatever it is you have to do. So when you see other people doing great things, you also understand that it's a human being doing those great things. It's not just great things happening because they're popular, they're famous, or they're talented. They're also a person. So as I get older, I look at NBA players not just for their talent, but who they are as people. And I don't mean like social and political opinions and stuff like that, but I mean really who you are in terms of character. You know, how you approach the work, how you learn from your mistakes. Can you get a gameplay with Kobe on stream? I actually don't have Kobe on this account. And what I heard from Mazique was that Kobe on the auction house has gone up to like he's not even on buyout anymore, I think. Let me see. Oh no, well his amethyst is still on buyout. No, his diamond's not even on buyout anymore. So here's my thing. It's like I understand if part of the way you grieve is like I want to play Kobe in the game. My thing is like, are you so into my team that you think now is my opportunity to make 200 KMT? Kobe died, so now I get to make more MT. Like, is that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know you just set your price to the market, but it's just that thought. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that. Um, what's up, Jason? Jason Battle. Yeah, man, just kind of talking, getting it out, grieving, mourning the loss, and celebrating the life. You know, celebrating the gifts that Kobe left us with. Like I've been saying to everybody, watch his documentary, listen to all his speeches. He's left us with so many tools to to have more of that Mamba mentality and get more out of yourself. Yeah, that's crazy. Like I just wonder what's the thought in your head when you put this card on auction and you're like, now the price is up because he's dead, so I can make more MT in the video game. I don't know, man. I don't know. But the main reason I'm not doing Kobe gameplay, so when Prince passed away, I did a picture of Prince. It was just a way for me to grieve, you know, to get the energy out. And people liked the picture a lot. And I received a lot of offers for money for the picture. A lot of people wanted to use it on t-shirts and, you know, flyers and make prints and all that stuff. And I wouldn't put the picture up for sale because I'm not knocking anybody else who does it. This is just a personal decision. I feel like a vulture. I literally feel like a carrion eater profiting off of death if I monetize something that comes from someone passing away. That's just me. That's just how I'm built. I'm not saying everybody has to be that way, but I will never sell that Prince picture. I will refuse a single penny for that Prince picture. And I'm not gonna do a YouTube gameplay of Colby that's gonna lead to me getting subscribers or likes or whatever towards monetization. Like, I just, that's why there's no gameplay on stream. This is a chat. It's just us chilling and talking. Gameplay will be completely separate, and until they release a new Colby card, it will have nothing to do with Kobe Bryant. If I felt like I wanted to play Kobe, like as part of my personal grieving process, I would do that in private, but I wouldn't do that on YouTube in any way that would bring me any kind of profit. If I want to make money, I'll just, I'll draw Spider-Man. I don't need to draw Kobe Bryant, who just passed away, and profit off his image. That's just me, though. That's, I work very hard to find other ways to make money. You know what I mean? Some people, this is their way to do it. It's their opportunity, it's their chance, it's their survival mentality. They got mouths to feed. I'm not here to judge that. That's on them to decide what's best for them. But that's not best for me. I wouldn't like the way I felt about myself if I did that. Yeah, I thought about doing a picture of art for Kobe, but honestly, it's just a personal thing. With Prince, I had to do it. You know what I mean? It's just like something I had to do. I don't feel like I have to draw anything with Kobe. Prince was directly a creative thing. Like, he was a guitar player. I'm a guitar player. Obviously, he's a little more famous than I am, but I could listen to his music, and that kind of made me want to draw. Whereas with Kobe, the Mamba mentality makes me want to approach my career with his perspective. Even YouTube, he makes me want to teach better and more. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way he makes me want to carry on. I don't really feel like I don't have the personal need to draw a picture of Kobe Bryant. And I know if I did, I'm not being cocky, guys, but look, again, I do this professionally. So if I drew a picture of Kobe Bryant, people would want to buy or print, or they'd steal it and use it on their website. I don't, not where my head is with that. Don't feel like dealing with that. But I'll just express my gratitude for Kobe's legacy by hitting my deadlines. Putting the work in, getting up early, and hitting the proverbial gym and getting better at my craft. I'm always motivated to get better at my craft, but Kobe, he gave me even more energy than normal, and I'm very, very appreciative of that. I hope you guys get the same thing in your pursuits. And for those of you who aren't following your pursuits, understand that we don't have a lot of time here. Life's, as Kobe, almost a direct quote from Kobe, life's too short to be wasting your time on stuff you don't want to do. Life's real short, so spend it on the things that are meaningful to you. Yeah, losing Gigi at that age, guys, was incredible. Just really, really sad. Just watching her enthusiasm for the game was just so much. A1 said you have a headache from crying so much. Yeah, I had a grief headache yesterday. I went to bed early. Mazique, I was talking to Mazique, he was saying basically the same thing. He was like, yeah, sometimes you have a day where you like, you know what, this day's over. I'm going to bed. Yeah, watching her love for the game, you could already see how she was an example, in the position that she was in for other young girls to follow. So that's very, very, very tragic. Very, very tragic. There's no words for that, really. And it's not something we like to think about, but you can just imagine those last moments in the helicopter, him trying to comfort her and stuff. Is just absolutely heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. What really got me, I retweeted on my personal account, that commercial where Kobe's he hits the game winner and somebody from the crowd says, "You suck, Kobe," and then Kobe steps back on the court, the lights go down, and he points to somebody in the crowd, and they get up and start singing about they hate him. And then I forgot that Paul Pierce and Rasheed Wallace were in that commercial. Um, I remember Paul Pierce a little bit, but I totally forgot that Rasheed was in that commercial, and that he got like some of his greatest rivals to sing, actually sing, in a commercial about how they're addicted to hating him. That's just the self-awareness, the humor, you know, in that is just brilliant. Really great commercial, but that got me. That got me because, you know, we have these conversations about sports, and this is one thing I do want to. I'm not gonna change is a strong word. I'll say modify. It's really fun to talk crap about sports, and that's good because sports is not war. It's not politics. Sports, at the end of the day, is mostly harmless, right? But we take it to the point that we talk about people like they're not human beings anymore. And I'm never going to give up talking shit because talking shit is fun. It's a great way to expend that energy, that competitive energy, without hurting anybody. You can talk all the shit you want as long as it's not personal, and then at the end of the day, high five, we're just talking shit, having a good time, and let it go. I don't want to lose that. But the point that we take it, that people aren't human beings anymore, I'm going to make sure I do my best to stop myself from going that far. Because, yeah, R.I.P. Kobe, man. We don't need to take it there. That doesn't make us better. That doesn't make us richer. I do think, you know, healthy trash talk to get the energy out, that's good for us. But dehumanizing people is not. And I definitely will try to keep that line drawn. But all right, guys, thank you so much for having this conversation with me. I appreciate everybody coming out. Like I said, I always appreciate the support. I hope that you guys got something out of this. And more importantly, I hope you guys get something out of the life that he lived and the many things he tried to contribute to the world, including, but not exclusive to, being great at basketball. There's much more to it than that. And I can tell you directly, particularly as a working artist, Colby helped me get through it and go through a lot of things in my industry. So it's really ironic that he would actually join my industry after his basketball career was over, and I'm sad to see him not get to do more of that stuff. But I definitely look forward to mixing sports and storytelling and carrying his creative legacy that way, because his creative career got stopped short. But I do think he was doing a beautiful thing, creating content for young athletes, because young athletes like Star Wars and Harry Potter too, but there's not a lot of stuff that represents them. Too often in our youth groups, our schools, the athletes get put over here, and like the nerds get put over here, and the creative kids get put over there. Everybody's not that cut and dry. We all have a little bit of everything, and we should feel comfortable to have a little bit of everything. And sometimes stories is what helps us feel comfortable to be more than what is expected of us. All right, so I'm gonna leave you guys on that note. Love you guys. Thanks so much for joining. I'll see y'all back for regular My Team content, going over the aforementioned Jeremy Lin spotlight cards. And spoiler alert, there's some good cards in this pack. All right, y'all have a good one.